Las Vegas likes to call itself the entertainment capital of the world, but tonight, fresh into the Kelly file, video of visiting tourists who don't look too entertained, thanks to some angry union members with an ugly message. Trace Gallagher has the story live in our West Coast newsroom. Trace?
And Megan, most of the hotels on the Las Vegas Strip are union. The Cosmopolitan is one of the few holdouts, and the unions are clearly concerned if the Cosmo can continue holding out in this economic climate, then other hotels may follow suit, so they are upping the ante. Keep in mind, these workers have jobs but no contracts, so when they're on the clock, they do things like bring you drinks and bring you food, but when they picket, they do things like this. Watch. Even their pants. You see the people that are handing out the cards there? They're with the Alliance to Protect Nevada Jobs. They oppose what they call the union's guerrilla tactics. They believe the union should welcome tourists, not insult them. Listen.
Las Vegas is our franchise, like you would have Pittsburgh has steel, Detroit has cars. And if you make bad business decisions, as those cities have learned, you can hurt that franchise economically. Tourism in Las Vegas is our franchise. We got to protect it.
So what the unions want is a contract, and to make sure that contract is guaranteed even if the hotel sells. John Ralston, who has covered Vegas for years, decades rather, says the unions don't care whose feathers they ruffle. Listen.
I don't really think they care that much about what their image is in Las Vegas or outside of Las Vegas. What they care about is getting the best contract or any contract for their workers. So if they're going to have to take some abuse on YouTube or on national television, I think they think that's the price of doing business.
The union said they would let us interview one of them tomorrow, Megan. The Cosmopolitan will only say they're still negotiating, but the unions sometimes have staying power. Back in the 90s, they picketed the Frontier Hotel on the Strip for 6.5 years. Megan.
That business about the pants was a bit, that was too far. You can rip on me, but not my pants. Thanks, Trace.
Okay.
Joining me now to discuss it, Simon Rosenberg, president of progressive think tank NDN and a veteran of 2 presidential campaigns. Monica Crowley is a Fox News contributor and host of the Monica Crowley Show. And Chris Plant is host of the Chris Plant Show. So, I mean, it's like, is that the best you can come up with? You're a loser, especially your girlfriend and her pants. I mean, let me start with you as a Democrat, Simon. Your thoughts on that, on that tactic?
Well, Megan, first of all, congratulations on the new show, and it's great to be here. And look, I've been called much worse on the air, I think, on Fox over the years.
Not by me.
Not by you. But listen, this is tough business. These guys are fighting for more respect and better pay at this job. This is one of the only non-union hotels.
Well, it'd be a good way to get more respect.
They're going to fight it out. They're going to fight it out. But I think you're right. They probably will look at this video and realize they could probably do a little bit of better job next time.
Monica, it plays into a narrative about union thuggery that is not particularly helpful for the unions, or am I wrong?
No, you're totally right. I mean, I see this video, Megan, and I'm thinking, well, at least they're not beating people up or destroying property the way the union folks did in Wisconsin when they took over the Capitol. But look, you talk about biting the hand that feeds you. They're out there calling tourists jerks and losers and picking on their clothing. Without those tourists, these folks have no job. And so they don't really think ahead. They don't think about the public relations aspect to it. They're just out for themselves. And it really, it gives an added dimension to what we're talking about nationwide, whether we're talking about government sector unions or private sector unions.
You know what amazes me, Chris, is that, you haven't heard a lot about this story, right? If this had been, some Tea Party group, different coverage.
Exactly. That's exactly right, and that's where I was going to start. I mean, this is classic, and even Simon, nice guy, legitimizing, justifying this behavior. Well, they're out for a cause, so it's justifiable. And let's keep in mind, for all the names they were hurling at people, President Obama has hurled more offensive names at people just in the last few days. Harry Reid, much more offensive. The Democrats hurl names just in the last few days, much worse than these union guys. And these are people that are protected by by Barack Obama and Harry Reid. It's Harry Reid's state. It's Barack Obama's people, the union people. They opened up the mall the other day, even though it was closed to the rest of us, for the union people. These, the left is violent. It's rowdy. It's happy to be offensive, and they never get called on it. The media doesn't see this as being a story because when it comes to the left, this is Tuesday. And as you said, if it were the Tea Party, it had become a 6-week story. We'd have a drumbeat every day on how awful those terrible Tea Party people were. But it's the left, so it's just business as usual, and they justify it.
The left is violent. Maybe you've overstated your cause. I don't think we want to dismiss the entire left in the country as violent. But I will say, listen, I will say in their defense that one time one guy parked me in and I could not get out of my car on either side, and I put a little note in his car and all I wrote was, "Loser." And it made me feel so much better, and maybe they're experiencing the same thing. It was very cathartic for me. I cop to it. There's some guy out there right now going, "That was Megyn Kelly." Okay, I want to move on to what's happening in Wisconsin, because I talked about this on O'Reilly's show tonight, and the madness of it has to be commented on. They're upset. Some art director out there is apparently upset and consulted a lawyer, and now the lawyers are saying you have to get rid of the Christmas carols because they're too religious. The Christmas choir has to either, these are their choices, you have to either choose 5 secular songs for every religious song, have no holiday music in your choir whatsoever, or you can sing all the Christmas music you want as long as you don't do it in the month of December. Simon?
Megyn, what do you say about that, right? I mean, what a silly decision, and I hope the attention you're bringing here will help people there come to their senses.
But I mean, it seems like it's happening more and more where we're going to have a case on this here on the Kelly File Moments, where it's like any sort of mention of religion or public prayer or, God forbid, hark the herald angels sing, Monica. It's so offensive. It needs to be shut down. Bring in the lawyers.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas is about celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. You can't remove Jesus Christ from Christmas, but they're trying to do that.
You can couple it with a song, by, I don't know,
Lady Gaga. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what the solution to it is, but it is an increasing secularization of this country. I think that's absolutely true. It's a war on Christianity. It's a war on Christmas. And we've seen this happening for a long time. Look, when people talk about, especially on the left, when they talk about the separation of church and state, what the founders had in mind was not this. It was not the removal of religion and faith from the public square. It was just that the government would not be imposing on people a state religion.
I mean, this is the craziness of our society today. You
come.
actually have apparently some legal opinion, Chris, saying you need to do the Christmas carols in June. That's, I mean, you sing to your heart's content, Silent Night, but only in the summer.
It just shows how completely crazy we've gotten, excessively litigious responses to everything. And this is an annual ritual at this point with people, we know who they are, that are hostile toward Christmas and hostile toward Christians. Look, Montgomery County borders Washington, D.C., a very liberal county in Maryland, and they are now in the process of trying to incorporate Muslim holidays into the school calendar there as a means of accommodating a very, very small number of Muslim students in the school system. And at the same time, liberals are banning Christmas carols in this county. They actually banned Santa Claus in their Christmas parades a few years in the town of Kensington.
He is evil and he needs to be stopped.
It is stunning, and it's, I mean, you can't rationalize it.
Every year, there he is with his little elves and his little reindeer. I mean, if the city council doesn't step in, who knows how long this could continue. Oh, wait.
Right.
And so that is why things like this Gallup poll that show 81% of the country is dissatisfied with the way the country is being governed come as no surprise to probably anybody on this panel. Good to see you all. Thanks so much for being here.
You bet. Thanks. Megyn.